Hello, today we're going to make a roasted cauliflower macaroni and cheese. This is a recipe that you and your kids are going to love. It's really family friendly and it's a nice way to get some extra vegetables into everybody too. Mac and cheese is kind of one of the ultimate comfort foods, and this is a really nice version that you can make at home. What we're going to start with is a small cauliflower, and we're going to take the core out of the middle just with the tip of our knife. Just going to go in there and pull that right out. And then we're going to cut this into little pieces. You can just pull them right off. They don't have to be uniform. Just pull it right apart, because we're going to be roasting this in the oven. Some of the bigger pieces I think I will cut in half, just so they have a flat edge they can lay down. Okay, so there's our cauliflower. So now we're just going to season this a little bit with some salt and pepper and with some olive oil. So I'm just going to put a little bit of salt and grind a little bit of pepper over the top and drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the cauliflower. And we're just going to toss this all together with our hands until the cauliflower is well coated. Now we're just going to spread it out so it cooks nice and evenly. Now I'm going to put this in a 425-degree oven, and we're going to leave it there for 20 to 25 minutes until the cauliflower is nice and golden brown and crispy. While our cauliflower is roasting in the oven, we're going to cook our macaroni, and we're going to make our cheese sauce to go on the macaroni. So when you're looking at pasta, there's lots of alternatives to traditional pasta. There are many different types of pastas available. Places like Bulk Barn at the supermarket, you can get pasta made of corn flour, you can get pasta made of amaranth, you can get pasta made with brown rice, you can get chickpea, red lentil, cauliflower, lots of different types of pasta. You want to look to something that has the most nutrition that you can get. Today we're going to use the brown rice elbows just for a more traditional macaroni look. When you're using alternative pastas, just make sure you follow the directions very carefully for the timings so you don't overcook it. Okay, our macaroni is just finished cooking, and I've set it aside to drain, and I just took the same pot that we cooked the macaroni in and put it back on the heat, and I'm adding 1/4 cup of unsalted butter to the pan, and we're going to let this melt. And when it's melted and bubbly, we're going to add 1/3 cup of flour along with a tablespoon of mustard powder. And then we're going to make what's called a roux, when you have like the mixture of melted butter and flour cooked together. And that's going to be the base for our cheese sauce for our macaroni. Butter's all melted and sizzling, and now we're just going to add the flour and the mustard powder right to that. We're going to use our whisk to stir it up. And we're just going to keep stirring until all the butter's been absorbed into the flour. There's no lumps, and it's a nice smooth paste. And you know it's ready when it's got a popcorn smell to it. I'm going to cook this for a few minutes. And then we're going to add our milk. Now the milk, I've got 2.5 cups of milk that I've warmed just a little bit. It makes it much easier and faster with your sauce if you put warm milk in with your roux. So I'm just going to add the milk next. And I'm going to whisk while we're adding the milk. And we're just going to keep whisking until this comes to a boil and thickens. Alright, so our sauce is now boiled and it's nice and thick. So what I've done is I've turned the heat off, and now we're going to add the cheese just a little bit at a time, and we're just going to whisk it right in. We don't want the mixture to be on the heat and boiling, because otherwise you could split the sauce. You don't want it to break. So we're just going to add the rest of the cheese little by little. And that was about 2.5 cups of cheese. You can use just cheddar, or you can use a blend. This is actually a blend of cheddar and pepper jack that I've got, because my family likes it a little bit spicier. Now we're just going to whisk this now until it's nice and smooth, and then we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so I've got the macaroni now stirred into the cheese sauce, and now we're going to add the cauliflower. This has just come out of the oven. You can see it's nice and crispy, and this will give the macaroni and cheese a nice nutty flavor. You just want to fold that in, and then you're going to spread all of this into a baking pan that you've sprayed with some non-stick cooking spray or just rubbed with a little bit of butter. and I'll show you how to top it before we put it in the oven. This is now almost ready for the oven. There's a couple different ways you can finish it. You could mix about half a cup of panko or regular breadcrumbs with about 2 tablespoons of melted butter and about half a teaspoon of paprika, and sprinkle that over the top. It'll give you a nice crunchy topping. My kids aren't terribly keen on the breadcrumbs, so I'm just going to put some extra grated cheese over the top. And then we're going to put this back in the oven, and we're going to bake it for about 15-20 minutes at about 425. It won't take long to melt the cheese. It's already quite hot, so it won't take long to heat through. We just want to melt the cheese and make a nice topping. If you wanted to make this for the freezer, what you would do is you would spread everything out on a baking sheet and just leave it until it's completely cool, and then put it in a container for the freezer and cover it well, and then you could freeze it for up to 3 months, and then just pull it out of the freezer, let it thaw, and bake it again as you normally would. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope your family enjoys it, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.